Welcome back to Dragonfall. We are catching up on the goings-on around here, on our correspondence and all these other sorts of things. Currently, we need to meet with the doctor. Well, we don't need to, but we're going to meet with the doctor. And then I think after that, we'll meet with Frau Mueller. I think we asked her to go meet us at the coffee shop. But we'll go over to the doctor's place first, which... I haven't screwed this up again, which maybe I have. I believe he's up here. Welcome back. What can I do for you, my friend? I hope that our recent misunderstanding won't have an impact on our ongoing business relationship. Misunderstanding, Alice? I'm sure that I don't know what you're talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're not hearing me. I don't know what you're talking about. I know nobody in the sewers, and you know nothing of my extracurricular activities. As long as you're on board with that, our business together can continue unabated. Deal? Deal, Doc. I got your message. What did you want to discuss? Business. I have a job for you. I'm a little surprised you want to hire me. We haven't always seen eye to eye. That's true, we haven't, but I'm confident that you're the right woman for the job. Why? Your reputation. You get the job done. Yeah, but there are other runners out there with equally strong reputations. So again, why me? Why are you trying to talk yourself out of a job? He rubs the bridge of his nose between his thumb and forefinger. I can see that you still don't get it, so I'll be blunt. You're the best in town at what you do, full stop. And I need the best, even if it means hiring you. I don't like you and you don't like me, but that doesn't mean that I'm unwilling to use you in order to become spectacularly wealthy. Does that answer your question? Yeah, that about covers it. Good, so let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Back before I emigrated here from my native Spain, I worked in a partnership with a Berlin-based R&D lab. The biotech that they were developing was very hush-hush, very cutting-edge. Our arrangement was that I would bankroll their research and that they, in turn, would provide me with unique merchandise to sell in my clinics. Go on. About 2 years ago, things went sour. My name was slandered, and the fickle mistress that is public perception turned against me. An ugly business, I assure you. Even talking about my fall from grace makes my stomach turn. The injustice of it all is almost too much to bear. Just how was your name slandered? What did they accuse you of? He sighs. What didn't they? Theft, medical malpractice, the sale of stolen goods, other more colorful accusations that do not bear repeating. I mean, those all sound accurate, from what I know. But that was then and this is now. I came here to Berlin to escape all of that. Of course, I also moved here to be closer to the lab that I'd funded, and the merchandise that I am owed. So let me guess, you want me to go fetch your merchandise? Yes, and to find out what happened to the lab itself. The facility is locked down, you see, nearly impenetrable, and I have no idea why. As I was packing to move to Berlin, all was well. 16 hours later, I arrived to discover the building locked tight with my merchandise inside. The Turk, Altug, has been running surveillance on the site since I set up shop here. In that time, no one has entered and no one has left. Whatever went wrong in there, it must have killed the research team. I want you to find a way into the building, recover the cyber tech that they were developing, and find out what happened to the researchers. In that order. If your merchandise has been sitting in this building for 2 years, why didn't you approach Monica about this? Who says that I didn't? I had, let us say, tumultuous friendship with your dear departed Monica. We had our ups and downs, you see, and on this subject she was most certainly down. That was her choice. I am hoping you will be savvy enough not to make the same mistake. If the building has been abandoned, I'm surprised that the lot it's sitting on hasn't been gobbled up by some corp or another. Don't be. Back when I was a wealthy man, before my legal troubles, I paid the lease for a decade in advance. And before you say anything, yes, it was a huge expense. But what's locked away inside of that lab is worth 10 times what I've spent on it. I don't want anyone laying claim to it but me. All right, let's talk compensation. What's in this for me? I can't afford to pay you in Nuyen, and that's your own fault, by the way. You shut off a good chunk of my revenue when you pulled that stunt down in the sewers. But what I can do is give you first crack at any biotech that you recover from the site and make it available to you at a discount. This is top-of-the-line ware that we're talking about, mind you, better than anything else I've got in stock. And because it's biotech, the essence loss from implanting it will be minimal. It's a win-win, even for a shaman like you. I really appreciate that they have unique dialogue there. I mean, not that it's like it's an obvious thing to add. You know, there's multiple classes where implanting things is not a good idea. But there's lots of games that wouldn't have even thought about that. They'd just give you a single canned response for everyone. And in the last dialogue block, I was thinking, I'll probably do this anyway just to see it in the game, but I don't really have any reason to because I don't want to implant anything in myself and I don't get to choose what implants my compatriots have. So this is really cool and gives me a reason to do it. I hope when it says minimal, it actually means 0, but... So what's it going to be? Will you take the job or not? All right, Doc, I'm in. Excellent. The facility that you're looking for is the former laboratory of Shadowrun Bioscience. Take the U-Bahn to the Platz and you're sure to find it. Best of luck. All right, we now have another mission to do. So, I think we need to go meet with our contact. It's a pretty weird cross-legged pose you have there. I don't think that's how your model is supposed to be folded. Okay. Kami, do you have anything new to say? Kami brightens up as you approach her, grinning widely. Hey there, Altug was just telling me you were around. I was wondering if you might be willing to trade a story or two. What are you looking for exactly? The girl taps a finger thoughtfully against her chin. Well, you're new here. I know that you knew Monica, and I've got a vague idea about what went down the night she died, but I want to know what you think your most exciting adventure has ever been. Hang on, how the hell did you hear about that? She smirks playfully. Remember, I'm Altug's ears and hands outside the cafe. We share a lot of intel, he and I. This feels like it implies too much. So what's the story between you two, then? She glances away briefly before returning her gaze to you. I suppose I can tell you. If the Monica thing was a secret of yours, it's only fair that I share one of my own. I never really went to school, pretty much been a street kid as long as I can remember, and there was so much to learn from people outside of school that I never really bothered. Makes it difficult to get a job, so as all good street kids do, I chose a place to haunt with my friends and always hung out there. That was Altug's cafe, and he was super nice about me and mine. I felt more comfortable with him than I ever did mein Vater. Her eyes narrow only for the briefest moment at the word. And we talked a lot when I was waiting around for my friends. He must have been fairly comfortable with me too, otherwise he wouldn't have offered me a job. What is it that you do, really? Technically, I'm the barista, but like I said before, ears and hands. I run his errands, gather gossip, and sometimes I even make coffee. I much prefer his hookah options, though. Real coffee makes me feel paranoid. Speaking of which, I should probably get back to work. See you around. Well, you didn't even give me the chance to answer your question to me. Kind of funny, though. I don't suppose if I talk to you again... Curious about Altug. Common purses her lips. Not a lot I can tell you that you haven't already guessed. Resident spymaster, coffee brewer, outsider, the official Turk of the Kriz Bazaar. Some shtick. It works for him. He had to make some sort of living here in the Kriz Bazaar, you know? He's not got a trade skill. He's not goblinized, so he couldn't hang out with with Breckenbauer. If he opened a normal shop, he'd be ousted by someone thinking he was stealing their job because he's not German. The coffee shop was a good option because it's obvious. He stays exotic and does what they expect of him with the intel and stuff. She absentmindedly pulls at some of her hair in her face. She pulls absent-mindedly at some hair in her face. Okay. Sorry about the intel dump. It's not really useful information. And you'd probably guessed anyway at this point, but you asked, so. You've been a real doll. Gotten way too much information out of me, though. I'll see you around, yeah? One more. A little busy right now, chum. Places to be, things to do, and all that, but if you come by later, maybe I'll have time to chat. Alright. Well. I don't really want to talk to Luca. Alright. Just killing time. Nothing else from anyone here? Well, I don't know how long this conversation is going to be with Frau Mueller, so I think I'm actually going to cut the episode a little bit short, just in case. Just so we don't end up with the one that's super long. We'll see. I'll see you guys next time.